the all-time great New England Patriots, one of the all-time greats in the NFL. Patriots Hall of Famer, Willie McGinest, my friend from also NFL Network. Good to see you, Willie. How are you?
I'm doing well.
So how does New England do it with the coin toss all the time? 19 of 25, their last 25 coin tosses, 25 games, they've got it correct. They've nailed it.
I mean,
there must be something afoot, right, Willie? That's 3/4 of a chance to get that right 19 of 25 times.
You know, Rich, I don't know what they're doing now, but when I was there, we would always call heads.
Yeah.
Because we wanted to play heads-up football, so it didn't really mean anything. It's just something we came up with, so we just stayed consistent and always called heads.
Yeah? So that's the way it says, you think
I don't know
that's
if they're
what's going
doing
on
that now. That's what we used to do. When I was a captain, always heads.
I thought tails never fails, though.
Tails never fails, but sometimes you're like ass backwards, so you don't want to come in from the, you always want to be heads up. You always think football, heads up.
Now, would Belichick leave it to you, or did you have a conversation with the coach?
No, just the players. It had nothing to do with the coaches.
So Bill doesn't, this is one part of the operation that he has no fingerprints on, which is what you're calling out there.
No, just whether we wanted the ball or which way we were kicking.
Oh, he's definitely on that.
Yeah,
we
absolutely.
know that.
Yeah,
you know,
no
like,
question about that.
He's probably checking Doppler radar, right? He's checking the barometric pressure.
The wind, I mean, all that stuff has been checked before we even hit the field.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, it is incredible. I mean, well, in all seriousness, this stuff with the injury reports that Jay Glazer talked about, how the Colts didn't put the rib injury of Andrew Luck on the injury reports. Does everybody do that, though?
I believe so. I think it's common. And, the one thing is if he's going to go out and he's going to play and he's going to perform, there's no excuses. So you can't really use the ribs as an excuse or a crutch to say, well, now we found out he's not playing well. If guys are injured, a little beat up all over the league. So guys are playing with everything. More times than none, it's not reported. If guys are out there, they're out there. There's no excuses.
So, but you as a defender, going in to hunt a quarterback.
Yes.
Your trade craft, okay?
Yep.
If you know there is a cracked rib, are you more prone to hit that cracked rib?
No question.
There's no doubt about that.
There's no doubt about it. I want to hit quarterbacks anyway because I just had a passion for hitting quarterbacks. But if I know he has a rib, then yeah, I'm going to follow through. I'm going to try to hit him every single time.
But knowing that if you say you have a shot at the rib and the hip, you'd take the shot at the rib over the hip. You are thinking that in real time?
Well, you want to make sure it's legal, first of all. But you got to think when quarterbacks open up to throw, what's exposed? The ribs. The ribs in the midsection. So, of course, you're going to follow through and make sure you get that shoulder pad right in that midsection.
See, that's what I'm just trying to. The reason why I'm asking over and over again is because I have said here that to me this is no different than the so-called Deflategate. That it's about gamesmanship. It's about if Brady did it right, about gamesmanship. Everybody does it. And it's difficult to quantify how it actually manifested itself in a game, in a score, in a situation. There's just no way to actually figure that out. But here, it's just, everybody does it.
Right.
What advantage are you? You're gaining some form of an advantage.
Well, yeah.
But the thing is, I'm trying to see how it does manifest itself on the field, because you as a defender, you're going to go get that quarterback any way you possibly can within the rules.
Yes.
So why hide it, right? I mean, why hide it? Because it's not like you're going to say, oh, you know what, I'm going to go for his shoulder now because his shoulder's hurt, as opposed to going and getting him in his ribs because that may be the easiest way for you to bring him down. You know what that's where I'm trying to.
Here's the thing, Rich. Like, as a defender, right? Andrew Luck is one of the best players in the league. So if he's in the game, it's going to be tougher for you to win, right? If he's out of the game or he's a little beat up and you can attack, that one step you're allowed to hit the quarterback, you're not going to ease up and throw your hands up. You're going to go ahead and follow through. The more hits you get on a quarterback, the more he wears down, especially if he's a little sore and he's a little beat up. So that could probably affect his throwing motion. That could affect him being a little short with the ball, or just consciously letting him know that you're going to hit him every single time, every single opportunity you get.
But if
you're going to change the way he plays maybe. So you want to. It's a mental part of it too.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Is that if you're going to do that anyway, does it matter that you know that his ribs are broken or not?
No, but you want to make sure he knows.
Because we had Mariucci Monday, and I asked him flat out, "Do you ever fudge an injury report?" And he paused for a good 2 seconds,
Of course,
before he said that he mentioned at a podium once on his first season as coach of the 49ers that Steve Young had bruised ribs, and the first person he saw after the press conference was Steve Young saying, you might as well just put a target
there you go.
on that spot, Steve.
There you go.
You're upset, like really upset with
there
Mariucci.
You go. And you let everybody know. Like, that's one thing you want to keep. It's like if a guy sprains an ankle. His ankle is not good.
Yes.
You don't just spat one ankle, you spat both of them, so they don't know which ankle it is. It's been like that forever.
And it's interesting that the team that's being accused of doing this is the one that accused the Patriots of doing something nefarious.
Thing is always happening with some teams.
You know what? And it's interesting when you got your red jacket that night, Mr. Kraft took a shot at the Colts.
Did he? I thought he just wanted to show that nice play that happened in Indianapolis. Like, what would the crowd react to in New England?
You mean the one where you were hurt and then suddenly running like a gazelle to go get Edgerrin James?
You didn't see the limp when I was running off? You didn't see the limp?
You mean that play? Is that the play you're referring to?
Well, actually, it was like 2 plays later.
Okay. What was this moment like for you where you went into the Hall of Fame in New England?
It was great. It was great. It's just special being in a class of elite players that put on a uniform and being recognized by the fans, the writers, your peers. Mm-hmm. I played against some of the best players I ever played a game with and against. So it's just an honor. A kid from Long Beach, you never thought about being in the Patriots Hall of Fame. I grew up watching Andre Tippin, some of these guys, and it was just a blessing, man. Just all the hard work paid off.
And then they just dismantled the Dolphins.
I'm glad we won, because if we didn't win that game, it would have been because of
you.
Well, kind of bad, right? I go into the Hall of Fame and then we turn around and lose the football game.
It went exactly the opposite way.
Yeah, good.
So, I mean, is Brady pissed at the world? I mean, is he really upset at everything that's gone on and has stoked the already the highly stoked fire that's within him?
I would say he was probably a little hurt by it, the accusations, but motivated is probably a better word, a better term, and he stays motivated. And guys like Brady and guys that we played with like that always found reasons to stay motivated. And to try and tarnish what they accomplished last year, I think a lot of guys on that team, not just Brady, took it personal.
Mm-hmm. So when you spoke to him, because I'm sure you did go see Tom when you went there last week. What was he like? Anything different? Anything going on?
No, he was same Tom, just excited to get the win. All the hype and talk about Miami. I mean, it was mostly about Miami going into that game, how tough this football team was and physical, and they was taking on the persona of their head coach, and it was just like we had to go out there and handle our business.
So they went into that game all whipped up, saying we got to bring Miami back down to earth.
Yeah,
after hearing all the talk about the interim head coach has got them.
Every team does that. I mean, they were on a 2-game winning streak, right?
Well,
everything
they beat the Titans and the Texans, yes.
Yeah, but everything has subtly changed. It doesn't really matter who you're playing. It's just the momentum and winning. It's all about winning. So that's a divisional game, too, so it's important.
So every team does that in the NFL?
I would say so.
Where it's just focusing on this week at hand. So, for instance...
No, not every team focuses on week to week.
That's what I'm saying.
No.
I mean, New England is, let's put it this way, rampaging its way towards another division title, obviously, and the playoffs. And yet, they're sitting there in their world that Belichick has created, targeting Dan Campbell, saying that guy needs to be brought back down to earth.
Because they're next up.
So what are they talking about Washington this week? What do you think?
It's the same thing. Like, there's no game where you go in and you underestimate your opponent. Whether you want to say it's a trap game or this, you don't want to focus on records or any of that stuff.
Is Bill talking about how Kirk Cousins had this big comeback? Look at him.
You never know,
like
man.
that.
They've won some games,
and
they're not going to stop fighting in Washington. So you got to be conscious of that. You see teams get knocked off with great records or undefeated, and lose. So you can't take it for granted.
I'm here with Willie McGinest, my compadre from NFL Network. You can follow at Willie McGinest. You can see him on NFL Total Access, which, by the way, yesterday turned 12 years old.
I know. Congratulations. I saw somebody on there.
Did you see
young
the video?
Rich Eisen.
With the cabbage up top?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, the first moment. That was 12 years ago, yesterday.
You broke the network, Rich.
Did I what?
Congratulations. You broke the network. Like you started something great.
So it's good.
It's good.
Because when you say I broke the network,
when you break a record,
pieces?
it's like when you break a record or something. You know, something that.
Okay, so I dropped NFL Network. It dropped with me. Is that what it is?
Yeah, you pretty much gave birth.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah.
7 Eastern times you can watch Willie on NFL Network and NFL Total Access throughout the week. What about tonight with the Browns and Bengals and Manziel and a shot and a short week with all of these guys who are out hurt too? What do you think about tonight's game, Browns-Bengals?
I think the Bengals will win. I mean, it's good for Johnny Manziel. He gets an opportunity to go out and play, but I just have to see more consistency from him to jump on the Johnny bandwagon. So I just think that the Bengals have been through some games, some tough football games, and they're battle-tested. They are for real. So we'll see what happens.
Well, it's all, and I mentioned this in the first hour, too. We're going to talk about it on TNF Game Day tonight on NFL Network. It's at 6 Eastern time. Here's the question in the AFC. There's 3 teams dancing around 2 chairs. Music's going to stop after 17 weeks, and 2 teams are going to be able to sit down. And the question is, who are those 2 teams going to be? Who do you think those 2 teams are going to be in the AFC for those bye-week seats?
I think it's going to probably be Denver and the Patriots again.
Well, they play each other, though.
I know, week 12.
Right.
They play each other week 12.
Sunday night.
Yeah, and I don't think, do I think Cincinnati's going to go undefeated? Probably not. Do I think, it's tough.
Mm-hmm.
It's tough. But I think Denver, now that they got Vernon Davis and that defense is playing the way they're playing, it's taking some pressure off of Peyton. And you look at his division, they usually, the last few years, he's had the first round bye.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's going to equate the same.
We had DeMarcus Ware on earlier this week, and he says that he and Peyton have conversations about, let us, Peyton, you don't have to put it all there on that right shoulder.
Let us set the tone. They've been doing that. They've won games. Last second interceptions for touchdowns, pick sixes, setting the tempo, going out. Like, that defense is for real. I told Heath Evans.
Yes.
Week 3 or week 2, that defense is for real, and a lot of people didn't believe it. They are for real.
Well, they are, though. Yeah. I mean, it's sustainably for real, though, too, right?
Yeah.
Correct?
Yeah.
Because Cincinnati and Denver play each other in December, and that may be the game to see who gets that last chair.
Right.
You think the Patriots go undefeated?
It's tough.
Who gets them?
It's tough.
Who is the best chance to get them?
They got to go into Denver, which is going to be a tough football game.
Jets.
They play the Jets. They play the Jets in New York. It's going to be a tough football game. And then you got to remember, if they have the first round bye and everything locked down, they may not play.
Come on.
No, I'm just saying they may not play guys towards the end of the season.
Like who?
Depends.
He'll put Brady in. He'll put Brady
injuries,
in.
man. Injuries happen. You see injuries just change the team. Look at Dallas.
Mm-hmm.
Look at Dallas. They've been derailed by injuries. Tony Romo, Dez Bryant missing games. They fall. It's going to be tough. They got to win out to be 9-7, Rich.
How about this? The Houston Texans, who are one Peyton Manning win in Indianapolis on Sunday away from being in first place,
They're tied right now for first place.
They are indeed.
Yes.
Let's say Hoyer gets his sea legs under him. And then there's Vrabel, right, on defense with the coaching staff of Romeo Crennel, Bill O'Brien, who got a gig basically because he was able to put Brady supposedly in his place on the sidelines, right?
Yeah.
I know, of course, what he did at Penn State. What about that idea? Because Chris Brockman has a wager with one of our listeners who hasn't called in forever and a day.
I wonder why.
In Houston, that he bet that he was a forklift operator in Houston, correct? And that if Houston wins, the forklift operator would then have Mike Del Tufo as his proxy, game-worn, show-worn cargo shorts. Brockman would have to actually put it in his mouth and eat a swatch of it.
Really?
Do you think that is an entirally possible?
Is that week 17?
No, it's week 15, I believe.
Week 15?
In the
14?
national. 14 is sometime in December.
No, I think
is Will Forks there? You think there's any shot?
No. Well, you never say never, but if we're going to bet lunch or something,
well,
we're going to bet with the Patriots.
cargo shorts. It's bigger than lunch.
For them,
it's bigger than lunch.
It's going to be lunch.
Much bigger.
He's going to be eating somebody's shorts.
The forklift operator would have to wear a Patriots jersey to work. Correct?
I think so,
That was the other way.
Why did you take that bet? Like, that's easy.
Because he's from New England, man. You know those New Englanders. They get their hackles up. Like
I get it, but that's...
Look at him. He's already got that 1,000-yard stare. Even just wondering, why would you ask that of him?
Versus eating shorts. You could have made it a little more even.
I just said it. I was like, I'll eat his shorts if the Texans beat the Pats.
So you had eating shorts on your mind when you made that bet.
I was thinking of something so preposterous because there's no chance Houston will beat New England.
All you have to do is challenge him at anything.
I see. He's
very competitive. From New England.
Because he's competitive. That's that New
The
England.
fire burns within,
There
Willie.
it is. He's
You know.
competitive.
The poll question today, ask it of Willie McGinest, please, Chris Brockman, at richeisenshow.com.
All right, Willie, so you heard what Rex said about Dan Campbell.
Did you hear about that?
Yeah.
Never want to fight him. Which NFL head coach would you not want to fight? Jack Del Rio, Mike Pettin, Mike Tomlin, Jim Tomsula.
What do you got? Who'd you vote for there?
Tom Sula seems like he's got that low center of gravity,
Yeah.
man, like
Plus,
a wrestler.
you don't know what's going on up there.
Yeah, like
do
a
you?
little wrestler. He's all over the place. He might pull out some wild moves or something.
Yeah, so Tom Sula?
Probably Tom Sula.
Okay.
Yeah.
So put him in for put Willie in for a Tom Sula. Words
Willie's
I've
down
never said
for a
before.
Tom Sula.
Okay.
Jack Del Rio is at 44% right now.
Man, he's running away with this.
Oh, yeah, I forgot Jack. Jack's a tough guy. He's an SC guy, too. So
Did we
he's
leave
tough.
anybody off the list? Did we leave anybody off the list? What about Belichick? What about Belichick? How would he fight?
If Buddy Ryan was still coaching,
Yeah.
you saw that right cross,
We could
right?
have included Rob Ryan. because
Kevin Gilbride, right cross.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Oh,
like,
my gosh.
Yeah.
One of the all-time greats. Okay, we left Buddy off the list, is what he's saying. Law, you have the floor? You said you
Yeah,
want
we're
the
doing
floor
this,
real quick?
going to do this new segment on Thursdays, Throwback Thursday, either something that's happened in the past on the show or the previous incarnation, the podcast. So this is our first edition of Throwback Thursday, Willie. I want to get your take on it. It is from June 7th, 2012 on the old Rich Eisen podcast. Roll it.
I've got a rap right
Go
here.
a cappella.
Okay, here we go. My name's Rich Eisen. I have a podcast. Miss a scheduled appearance and I'll put you on blast. New York is my home, the island of Staten. I've conquered Bristol, even Manhattan. Now I'm on the West Coast, relaxing and chill, living on the mead streets of Beverly Hill.
Oh, man.
Rapping isn't my forte, in case you couldn't tell. I'm more relaxed on the network, NFL.
That was cold right there. You way better than a lot of rappers that are making
Yes!
records right now.
Yes!
Yes.
Ice-T saying that.
that was good. That was really good.
Was that good?
Yeah. You are better than a lot of rappers that are out right now.
I thought Ice-T was being generous. Are
No,
you
he's
serious?
serious. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, that was pretty good, Rich. But see, what you got to do now, the new thing is not to put it on like a card. You got to text it. You got to have it in your phone. All the rappers put it in their
okay.
phones now.
Okay.
So they read it off of their phones.
Okay.
That's the hot thing now.
They read it off their
your
phones?
iPhones now. So
Off
you
the
know,
phone?
like you just straight off the head, you just type some stuff, and you just read off your iPhone.
So index cards? No good?
No index cards.
Okay.
Just the cell phone.
I appreciate it. By the way, Snoop is in 11th place in the Draft Ops Friends of Rich League.
Who's in first?
Grandma Gloria Glassman, an 85-year-old Browns fan who is running away with it.
pretty
Yeah,
good.
but Snoop, do you want to play? This is what Snoop said when he joined the league here. This is what Snoop said.
Grandma, I'm coming to get you.
He's saying he's going to go get Grandma. You know, he's going to go get. He's trying to run down Grandma.
Yeah. There's
Your finest
chance.
from Long
11th
Beach.
place out of how many people?
14.
Wow, that's not good.
It's okay. I'm in 10th.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I'm going to get better. Willie, thanks for coming on. Please come
Rich.
back. Please come back. You're on Total Access tonight?
Tonight, after the game.
All right.
Post show.
After the game. Fantastic.
The Rich Eisen Show, weekdays at noon Eastern. On Audience.